Hi. So let's talk something about React.
Sure, what kind of thing about React are you thinking of? Are you curious about components, state management, or something else?
I don't know, give me a brief explanation about React and how can I use it.
Well, React is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. You create reusable components, basically small independent pieces of UI, and React
Okay, so give
creates the
me.
page of invite to. Sure, just let me know what kind of example you'd like, maybe a small component or how to manage state, and I can walk you through it. What would you like to build or understand better?
Give me a question so you can know my level of knowledge about React.
Sure. Can you explain what the concept of props is in React and give an example of how you might use them in a component?
Well, like a prop is like use variable inside a component in React.
That's a great start, exactly. Props are like custom parameters you pass to a component so it can render different content. Can you give a quick example of how you might pass a name prop to a greeting component?
Well, we start the function, and inside the function we declare a variable with console or let, and inside the HTML thing you put the name of the variable inside curly branches.
Yes, exactly. So you'd define a component function, like a greeting component, and then you'd accept a prop, say name, and inside the JSX you just embed it with code with a different name, and it updates. Does that make sense?
Yeah, right. Thank you for your explanation. Give me
You're
another question.
Of course. Can you describe what state is in React and how it differs from props?
Well, I think steady is like when you connect an API to a component, so it had to be custom, like updated, or if in case that is needed.
Ah, you're on the right track. State is internal to a component, and it lets the component remember things so it can change over time. Props, on the other hand, are passed in from outside and stay constant. Does that make sense?
Well, explain more the thing about the
Variable.
state.
Ah, got it. So think of state as something that belongs to the component itself. When it changes, like after a user clicks a button, the component re-renders to reflect that new state. Props, in contrast, are just fixed values from outside, so they don't change inside the component. Does that
Okay.
help clarify?
Okay, that's something about the virtual DOM that doesn't need to recharge the page, so can show like the render the thing in JavaScript or TypeScript.
Exactly. The virtual DOM is like a lightweight copy of the real DOM. When something changes, React updates the virtual DOM on fur, so the page stays fast and smooth. Does that help clear us up?
Yeah, it's clear, but give me another question or something that I have to know about React.
Sure. Can you explain what a React hook is and maybe give an example of a hook you've used, like useState or useEffect?
Well, I don't know what it exactly is a hook. I think it's like a connection. I don't know if it's with the backend, but I don't know. Give me an explanation about it. I don't really know anything about it.
Of course. So hooks are special functions in React that let you hook into React features like state or lifecycle methods. For example, useState lets you add state to a function component, and useEffect lets you run code after the component renders. Does that make a bit more sense?
No. Explain more clear that. I don't get it.
Of course. Think of hooks as tools that let you use React features inside regular function components. Before hooks, you needed class components to have state or lifecycle logic. Now, with hooks like useState or useEffect, you can do all that in simple functions. Does that help?
Oh, are you meaning that I don't need to do a special function using instead I use hooks or what?
Exactly. You don't need a class component anymore. Instead, you can just use hooks inside a function component. That lets you have state, effects, and more, all in a simpler, cleaner way.
But I have to create the component first, or what?
Yes, exactly. You define a function that returns your JSX. Then inside that function, you can call hooks like useState to set up your component state. Once you
Oh, so you're saying
have
that
that,
so you're saying that hooks are like libraries of React or something like that?
yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Hooks are built-in functions React provides, kind of like a toolkit, so you can
Well,
use them to add things like state, side effects, and more without classes.
well, thanks.